Welcome you all for the next session of concrete technology class. So in the previous class we studied the water cement ratio, gel space ratio and the maturity concept of a concrete. And the today's class we are going to study about the creep and the shrinkage. These are the two properties of a concrete. So what is this and how this creep and shrinkage is going to occur in a concrete? Okay. So first we'll study creep. What is this creep? Creep can be defined as the time dependent part of the strain resulting from stress. Okay, when you apply some stress on the concrete, there is some strain occurrence. Okay, or some property of the concrete is going to change. That is called as a creep. We have discussed earlier that the stress strain relationship of a concrete is not a straight line relationship, but it is a curved one. The degree of curvature of a stress strain relationship depend upon many factors, among which the intensity of stress and time for which the load is acting are significant interest. Yes, so the creep occurrence is depending upon the amount of stress and the time. Therefore, it clearly shows that relation between stress and strain of a concrete is a function of time. The gradual increase in strain without increase in stress with the time is due to creep. From the explanation, creep can also be defined as increase in strain under the sustained stress. Okay, so what's the meaning of this? When you apply some stress to the concrete, there is a result of some strain, or there is a result of property change of a concrete. All material undergo under some conditions of loading to a greater or smaller extent, but a concrete creeps significantly at all stresses and for a long time. Furthermore, creep of concrete is approximately linear function of a stress up to 30 to 40% of a strength. The order of magnitude of creep of concrete is much greater than that of a crystalline material, except for metals in a final stage of yielding the prior to failure. Therefore, creep in a concrete is considered to be isolated rheological phenomena, and this is associated with gel structure of a cement paste. The cement paste essentially consists of unhydrated cement grains surrounded by the product of hydration, mostly in the form of gel. These gels are interpenetrated by gel pores and intercepted by capillary activities. The process of hydration generates more and more gel, and subsequently there will be a reduction of unhydrated cement and capillary activities in ink concrete. Gel pores are filled with the gel water, and capillary cavities may or may not be filled with the water. The movement of water held in a gel and the paste structure takes place under the influence of internal and external water pressure. The movement of water may also take place due to the sustained load of a concrete. So what is the meaning of this? Cement paste. So this cement paste will form when you add the water to this, the cement paste will form. Okay, so these gels are interpenetrated by gel pores and interspersed by capillary activities. The formation of gel and the state of existence of water are the significant factors on the deformative characteristics of a concrete. The gel provides the rigidity both by the formation of chemical bonds and by the surface force attraction, while the water can existing in three categories, namely combined water, gel water and capillary water. Creep takes place only under stress, under sustained stress. With the time, the gel and the absorbed water layer, the water held in the gel pores and capillary yields, flows and readjusting themselves, which behavior termed as a creep in concrete. So the creep is a property change or the sum of the deformation of the concrete. We can say that deformation of a concrete. For example, you have one cube. If you apply some stress, then there is a breakage or there is a shape change of that cube. So that is called as a creep. Okay. So this is definition of creep. The rheological representation and microscopic that is not required for your study. factors affecting the creep. The factors affecting the creep are influence of aggregate and the influence of mixed proportion. That is very important. So the aggregates will not affect the creep much, but the paste is responsible for the creep. However, the aggregate influences the creep of a concrete through restraining effect of magnitude of a creep. The paste which is creeping under load is restrained by the aggregate which do not creep. The stronger the aggregate, the more is the restraining effect, and hence the less the magnitude of the creep. Yes. So if the strong the aggregate, then the more creep will not occur, and if the aggregates are not stronger, then the creep occurs. That is naturally. The grading and the shape and maximum size of aggregate have been suggested as the factors affecting the creep. So the proper grading and the maximum size of aggregates are recommended for factors affecting the creep. But it is later shown that the effect of aggregate and their properties mentioned by above pairs do not affect the creep, but indirectly the effect of the creep from the point of view of total aggregate content in the concrete. Lightweight aggregate shows a substantially higher creep than a normal aggregate. Yes, because lightweight aggregate will undergo, when you apply some stress, it will undergo the strain easily. So the creep will be more in that lightweight aggregate. And the second point is influence of mixed proportion. The amount of paste content and its equality is one of the most important factor influencing the creep. A poorer paste structure undergoes a higher creep. If the paste is poor, means how it is poor, if the water content is more, then the cement content is less, then that paste is called as a poorer paste, and it will undergo the higher creep. Therefore, it can be said that creep increases with the increase in water cement ratio. In other words, it can also be said that creep is inversely proportional to the strength of concrete. Yes, if the creep is less, then the strength will be more. If the creep is more, then the strength will be less. So we say that the creep is inversely proportional to the strength of concrete. And the third point is influence of age. Age means age of the concrete. As the time goes, the age increases for the concrete. Age at which the concrete members is loaded will have a predominant effect on the magnitude of the creep. This can be easily understood from the fact that the quality of gel improves with the time. Such a gel creeps less, whereas younger gel undergo being not stronger creep more. So the younger gel will be having much strength, hence it will undergo more strength. As the time goes, the gel formation will become so strong and the creep will be less. Okay, so as the age of the concrete increases, the creep will be less. Okay, this is the influence of age. So these are the three important factors which are affecting the concrete, that is aggregates, size of aggregate, and influence of mixed proportion, and influence of age. Okay, remember this will be asked for a short question, that is creep. Then you should write what is creep, how it is going to form, and what are the factors affecting the creep. And the next, another important topic or the concept in the concrete is shrinkage. It has been indicated in the earlier chapter that concrete is subjected to changes in volume, either autogeneous or induced. Okay, when you apply some stress, the volume of a concrete is going to change, or in certain condition also the volume of the concrete is going to change. Either it will reduces or it will increases. That is called as a shrinkage. Change in volume is called as a shrinkage. The volume changes is one of the most determinantal properties of a concrete, which affects the long-term strength, durability to the practical engineer. As the aspect of volume change in a concrete is important from the point of view that it causes unsightly cracks in a concrete. We have discussed elsewhere that effect of volume change due to the thermal properties of aggregate and a concrete, due to alkali aggregate reaction, due to the sulfate action, etc. Presently, we are going to discuss shrinkage, that is volume change. This is change in volume is very problematic in the construction works. because change in volume sometimes causes the cracks, and that cracks causes the collapse of building. One of the most objectionable defects in a concrete is the presence of cracks, particularly in the floors and the pavements. One of the important factors that contribute to the cracks in the floors and pavement is due to shrinkage. It is difficult to make a concrete which do not shrink and crack. It is only the question of magnitude. Every concrete will undergo the cracks, but it is the matter of magnitude. If the larger the cracks, the more will be the fast will be the collapse. If the lighter and hair cracks are there, then that is no problem. So every concrete will crack and shrink, but the volume is very important, or the magnitude is very important. Now the question is how to reduce this shrinkage. And shrinkage cracks in concrete structure. As a concrete is an inherent property, shrinkage is an inherent property of a concrete. It demands a greater understanding of the various properties of a concrete, while influences its shrinkage characteristics. It is only when the mechanism of all kinds of a shrinkage and the factors affecting the shrinkage are understood, an engineer will be better positioned to control and limit the shrinkage of the body of concrete. So once if you know the concrete will cause the shrinkage, you should find the solution how to prevent that shrinkage, or how to control that shrinkage. There are 4 different types of shrinkage. One is plastic shrinkage, drying shrinkage, autogeneous shrinkage, and carbonation shrinkage. For your syllabus, only plastic and drying shrinkage is there. That will study that both the shrinkages. Plastic shrinkage. Shrinkage of this type manifests itself soon after the concrete is placed in the form while the concrete is still in the plastic state. Plastic state means it is not yet get hardened, it is a fresh concrete. Okay, semi solid condition, that is fresh concrete. So this plastic shrinkage occurs when a concrete is in still a plastic state. The loss of water by evaporation from the surface of a concrete, or by the absorption of aggregate, or by subgrade is believed to be a reason of a plastic concrete. Okay, the loss of water, the water which is evaporated from that fresh concrete may cause the shrinkage. The loss of water results in a reduction of a volume. Yes, definitely. The aggregate particles or the reinforcement comes in the way of subsidence, due to which cracks may appear at the surface and internally around the aggregate and the reinforcement. So when you place the concrete in a fresh condition, then the water absorbed because of a temperature or some natural condition, the water present in gets evaporated. Then what happens? The subsidence occurs in the reinforcement. So because of that, some cracks will occur in that structures. In case of floors and pavements, where there are surface area exposed to the drying is larger compared to the depth. When this larger surface is exposed to hot sun and drying wind, the surface concrete dries very fast, which results in plastic condition. So for example, in a floor you apply the concrete, because of the sun and wind, the water just get evaporates. So because of that water evaporation, the plastic shrinkage will occur. Sometimes even if the concrete is not subjected to severe drying but poorly made with a higher water cement ratio, large quantity of water bleeds and accumulates at the surface. When this water surface dries out, the surface concrete collapse, causing the cracks. Remember, the plastic shrinkage will occur because of the poor water cement ratio. If you apply the more water comparing to the cement, then the water bleeds on the surface or stands on the surface, and that water will not mix with the cement and gets evaporated, and the cracks will occur. The plastic concrete is sometimes subjected to unintended vibration or yielding of a form of support, which again causes the plastic shrinkage cracks, as the concrete at this has stage has not developed enough strength. Sometimes we'll subject it to the vibrations which is not achieved the proper strength, then also causes this plastic shrinkage. From above it can be interfered that higher water cement ratio, badly proportioned concrete, rapid drying, greater bleeding, united vibration, unintended vibration are some reasons for plastic shrinkage. Plastic shrinkage can be reduced mainly by preventing the rapid loss of water from the surface. So you got the reasons for plastic shrinkage. Now you should find the solution for that. See here, what the solution for that? This can be done by covering the surface with a polythene sheet immediately on finishing operations. So once you put the concrete, you should cover the surface by polythene sheets or by monomolecular coatings by fog spray that keep the surface moist always, or by working at a night. An effective method of removing a plastic shrinkage crack is to revibrate the concrete in a controlled manner. So to remove bleeding, you should remove the bleeding such a way that you should revibrate the concrete. Or use of small quantity of aluminium powder is also suggested to offset the effect of plastic shrinkage. Similarly, use of expansive cement or shrinkage compensating cement can also be used for controlling the shrinkage during setting of concrete. Okay, this is all about plastic shrinkage. So we got to know what is plastic shrinkage, how it causes, and what are the preventive measures. And next we'll study drying shrinkage. Just as the hydration of cement as in everlasting process, the drying shrinkage is also everlasting process. When concrete is subjected to the drying condition, the drying shrinkage of concrete is analogous to mechanism of drying the timber specimen. The loss of free water contained in hydrated concrete does not result in appreciable dimension change. It is a loss of water held in the gel pores that causes the change in volume. So the dry shrinkage occurs after placing the cement in the particular place. After the concrete dried, whatever the moisture present, which is present in between the pores of a concrete, that absorbed or that evaporated and causes the dry shrinkage. Cement paste shrinks more than mortar, and mortar shrinks more than concrete. Concrete made with a smaller size aggregate shrinks more than a concrete made with a bigger size aggregate. It's because the concrete which is made with a smaller size aggregate may have a more shrinkage problem. The magnitude of drying shrinkage is also the function of fineness of a gel. The finer the gel, the more the shrinkage. It has been pointed out earlier that high pressure steam cured concrete with a low specific surface gel shrinks much less than that of normally cured cement gel. So the steam curing which is given for concrete, that concrete will give a less shrinkage comparing to normal cured concrete. When you cure that concrete with the steam, then the pores will not occur, then the water evaporation will reduces. So because of reduction in water loss or water evaporation, then shrinkage can be prevented. So what are the different so they have mentioned the factors affecting the shrinkage, so that is not mentioned for your syllabus. So we'll stop it here at this